Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS.
Hey, welcome back to the show. I'm Arif Halaby, Total Financial Solutions Special Edition, along with KHTS as we do our candidate forum, talking about your family's choices for what? For City Council. It is happening right now, the election. We're leading up to it, folks. This is an opportunity for you to get involved. I'm Arif Halaby, joined by Mr. Mark Murphy, talking about your candidates, talking with them, learning a little bit about them, and what does it take to make them tick. And a veteran of our city of Santa Clarita, Mrs. Gloria Mercado-Fortine, is running for City Council. Gloria, great to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
We want to know a little bit about you and some of the history, but can you touch on just a little bit of service that you've had in the past? Because we want to know a little bit about that, and then I want to touch on some other areas as well.
Sure. Well, I'm proud to say that I grew up here in our valley, our beautiful Santa Clarita Valley, and attended local schools and graduated from Hart High School. So don't hold that against me. It's a wonderful school.
Cowboys and Indians. That's
yes,
it.
the Cowboys and Indians.
We
that's
like
right.
to see them lose. It's great.
Yeah, I bet you do. But I've always been very involved and engaged in my community, and volunteerism has been a very important part of our family. So, and I'm proud to say too that this is my fourth term serving on the William S. Hart Governing Board.
So fourth term, folks. So she's seen a lot. I want to jump right into a couple of questions here. As a candidate, you have issues in your mind, but also as a servant in the past, you've seen things happen. Day one, you hit the ground, you walk into City Council, you're a new City Council person. What issues are you going to have City Council work on, staff work on that day, that week?
Well, first of all, I think it's important that you're not walking in and just throwing everything out and saying that everything that has been done is bad, because it isn't. We have so many great things going on, and I think we have a great city. So walking in, I want to make sure that I get in there and really know the issues from everyone's side. And that's important. And establish relationships, because I believe the only way you get things done is to establish relationships and have the respect. And we need to respect everyone, no matter where they're at. You may disagree with them, but you need to respect them and respect their opinions.
Nice.
You've worked hard and long for the kids in our community. Talk about that. Why, particularly high school students?
Well, youth is a passion with me. They are our future. I know we hear that said often, but truly, youth are our future. And also, I'm a professional educator, having served as a teacher, as a principal, as a district level administrator, and to me, many of the issues that are close to my heart have to do with youth. And really, if we're going to have a healthy community, we really must invest in our youth. And if we're concerned about public safety, making sure that we put our kids on the right path, and so they're not deterred and get into other things of crime and graffiti and all of those things. So I think the more we do for our youth, the better our city will be.
We're transitioning from serving youth to serving all of City of Santa Clarita. I mean, one might say even that serving the youth of yesterday, if you will, 4 terms. How long is a term in Hart District?
4. They're 4-year terms.
4 years, so 16 plus 18 years. If you had a 17-year-old, you'd have somebody in their early 30s, if you will, today. So serving that person is not necessarily just serving youth, because that person is, somebody may be a parent, certainly a professional these days.
And we see them, and we see these wonderfully successful adults now, and it's been a wonderful thing to see when you knew them as kids, and now they're productive citizens, and they're involved, and they're working here in the city or elsewhere, but it's wonderful to see that.
Through that process, tough decisions have to be made. Give me an example of a time in your life, it could be related certainly to the school board or any place, but a tough decision was made. Often, look, in decisions, there's often 2 right answers. It doesn't always mean it's black and white and you can see I'm going to choose one or the other. It's sometimes the decisions are both good. What was that decision, and how did you come to the conclusion?
Well, we've had a lot of tough decisions, and a lot of it has to do with budgets. And there was a time when we really seriously had to look at making drastic cuts if we were going to survive. All school districts had to do that. And so it was tough in terms of where do you cut? Where do you begin to cut? And one thing for me was we need to stay away from the classroom. Anything that is closest to the kids, we needed to stay away from. So we made other cuts and more at the district level, and we did have to cut back on some programs, but not what was going to directly impact that child in the classroom. So materials and teachers and all of those things that we need to educate our children.
So moving forward, Mark, go ahead. You had a question.
Oh, I know. You've also brought some other issues in the perspective of environmentalism to the schools. And,
Yes.
and I'm curious, why? Why did you get involved in this? What
Because that is the future. And that's another way of, we're always looking about how to make things run more efficiently. And whether it's any local agency, governmental agency is always looking to see where can we be most cost effective? And so looking at what was going on in the outside world, outside of schools, I began to see that perhaps solar would be a real cost-effective tool for us. When we had one high school spending in energy, $3 million for that one particular school, I thought, wait a minute, that's certainly taking away money from things that we could be doing with kids.
What was the break even on that? Tell me what that is, because that was a bit controversial. When I saw it going up, I'm thinking, this is a lot of money we're spending. But there's a moment in time, because you and I spoke about it. I actually brought it to your attention and said, this is as a voter, I had a concern about this. But there was a break-even time. How long did it take, or does it take?
It doesn't take any, and that's why it was important to do your homework, because it can be costly, but you take advantage of what kind of governmental entity you are. And for schools, there were grants, and I knew there were grants out there, federal grants, so that for us, it was going to be free. Totally free. So why not jump? Yes, it takes a lot of work and it took a lot of staff time, but in the end, and I know sometimes it's difficult to say, well, we can't give up some of that staff time, but in the end, that was the payoff. So that at the end of that year, and it'll be for the next 20 years, the end of that year, we saved $500,000 that could be then put back into kids. And it cost us nothing because we took the time to do the grants, and that's how so it was free to the district.
So you have been a servant, a public servant, if you will, of a variety of places. And look, teachers are paid very well. I know some of my educators are going to argue with me. I'm your financial guy. I see the numbers. They're not paid like doctors of old, but look,
except adjunct professors.
Yeah, I agree, Mark, who is related to one. So there is a volunteer, there is an extra, how many extra hours educators put in. So there's that history. But there's also a human being element to you. And I want to know, what are some of those weaknesses that you see, and how have you attempted to overcome those in your life? Might be some things that you say, I'm just not good at things. I'm not good at everything, of course. Ask my wife, she'll have a list of things. What is it that you can give me, one or two things that you say, this is an area that I think is a bit of a weakness, but this is how I'm addressing it?
I think I tend to be very passionate and really be very driven. And sometimes, as my husband tells me, just slow it down a little. You're on the right track, but just slow it down a bit. And sometimes I like to move very quickly because I see it. I see that vision, and sometimes it's important that I make sure that everybody else sees that vision around me. And so that's my weakness. Want to push, but I need to get everybody on board.
Your vision for the city of Santa Clarita and bringing in those outside entities. We have about 30 seconds left. Why do we want to encourage Stevenson Ranch? Why do we want to encourage Castaic to become part of the city? What is the benefit to them, frankly, and to us? Why would we do that?
I grew up here in this valley. We were all one, and so I've lived in the unincorporated area, and of course I live in the city now, and And I see our valley as one. And anything we do in this valley, whether anything we do in the city or on the west side, is going to impact all of us, whether it's roads, whether it's jobs, anything. It's going to impact all of us. So it's best for all of us to be under one roof, be one city, and come together and work together.
Well, folks, Gloria Mercado-Fortine, she's running for your city council right here in the city of Santa Clarita. If you're thinking about voting, if you want to vote, you join us for the next 2.5 hours or so as we continue bringing city council candidates to you. You can join us at hometownstation.com. Click on Listen Live. You can listen to the rest of the show. You can even go back. We're archiving this, or go to SCV TV. That's channel 99 on your DirecTV Dish Network, ATT Uverse, I believe, and then also go on to your Time Warner's channel 20. All right, folks, we're going to continue after the break with more of your city council candidates here on your place for news, talk, and information. I'm Arif Halaby, joined by Mr. Mark Murphy on AM 1220 KHTS.